Imagine this: you're walking through your neighborhood like you've done 100 times before, but today your footing feels slightly off, a misstep, a stumble, and suddenly you're on the ground in pain, struggling to stand. For many older adults, this scenario is not an exaggeration, it's a wake-up call. The smallest movement done incorrectly or the wrong type of exercise at the wrong time can ignite a chain reaction that leads to injury, loss of independence, and in some cases, permanent disability. This isn't fear-mongering. It's a cold, clinical reality for millions of people over the age of 60. Aging is not a passive process. Our bodies don't simply slow down, they change in structure, function, and resilience. The joints that once cushioned your steps become less forgiving. The muscles that once supported your balance gradually weaken. And the movements that once gave you strength can turn into silent threats. What's most alarming is that much of the damage older adults suffer is preventable, not by stopping movement, but by choosing the right kind. Over the last 2 decades working in senior health, I've encountered countless individuals who unknowingly harm themselves through well-intentioned but dangerous exercise routines. From retired athletes trying to relive their glory days to older adults following outdated fitness programs, the outcomes have been tragically similar: inflammation, fractures, loss of confidence, and prolonged rehabilitation. Let me be clear, exercise is essential for healthy aging. But not all exercises are created equal, and some can quietly break down your body in ways you won't notice until it's too late. This article is not about scaring you into immobility. It's about empowering you with the knowledge to move smarter, safer, and more effectively as you age. We're going to explore 3 exercises that seniors should avoid at all costs because they pose far greater risk than reward. Then we'll shift gears and introduce 3 powerful, safe, and highly effective movements that can help you build strength, restore balance, and protect your independence. If you care about your health, your future, and your freedom, keep reading, because what you learn today could mean the difference between a strong, mobile body or a painful, avoidable decline. Part 1. Understanding the aging body. Why certain movements become dangerous. To understand why some exercises are risky for seniors, we must first understand what aging does to the body at a physiological level. After the age of 60, muscle mass begins to decrease at a measurable rate, a condition known as sarcopenia. According to the National Institute on Aging, adults over 65 lose about 1% of muscle mass per year, accelerating if physical activity is not maintained. But it's not just the muscles. Ligaments and tendons lose elasticity, joint cartilage wears down, and bone density, especially in postmenopausal women, diminishes, making fractures more likely even from minor trauma. Balance and coordination also decline due to a reduction in proprioception, the body's ability to sense movement, action, and position. This is why older adults are significantly more prone to falls. The CDC reports that 1 in 4 Americans aged 65 and older falls each year. Worse, a single fall can result in hip fractures, traumatic brain injuries, or long-term loss of independence. So when exercises place undue strain on these vulnerable structures like deep squats, stressing the knees, or running that jolts the spine, they become more than risky. They become potentially life-altering. Part 2. 3 exercises that could be hurting you. 1. Deep squats, a recipe for joint breakdown. The squat is often hailed as the king of lower body exercises, but when taken to full depth, where the thighs drop below parallel, it becomes a joint destroyer in aging bodies. While this movement can benefit younger individuals with strong joints and flexible tendons, it's often catastrophic for seniors with even mild cartilage thinning or osteoarthritis. The extreme knee flexion increases compressive forces on the joint surfaces, particularly the patellofemoral joint. Consider the case of Mr. Alan D., a 69-year-old former amateur bodybuilder who returned to a gym routine after a 10-year hiatus. Motivated by his younger days, he attempted full-depth barbell squats. Within weeks, he developed persistent knee pain and swelling that later revealed a meniscus tear and early-stage arthritis. A surgery and 6 months of physical therapy. Later, he still struggles with mobility. Deep squats can also affect the lower back. As older adults lose flexibility in the hips and spine, they compensate by rounding the back in action that increases pressure on spinal discs. For someone with undiagnosed degenerative disc disease or spinal stenosis, this can trigger a cascade of painful consequences. 2. Overhead presses. The shoulder's silent enemy, lifting weights above the head, may seem like a straightforward strength move, but in older adults, it often leads to serious injury. The shoulder is a complex joint with multiple stabilizing muscles and tendons. As we age, these tendons become more vulnerable to tears. The rotator cuff in particular is prone to inflammation and degeneration. When seniors perform overhead presses, especially with improper form, they risk impingement syndrome, tendinitis, or full-thickness rotator cuff tears. One clinical study published in the American Journal of Sports Medicine found that people over 60 are 5 times more likely to suffer from rotator cuff degeneration than those under 40, and repetitive overhead motion is a key contributor. Take the story of 67-year-old Mrs. Clara M., who joined a local fitness class that included overhead dumbbell presses. Within 3 sessions, she felt a sharp pain in her right shoulder. The result, a supraspinatus tear that required surgical intervention and left her unable to lift her arm above shoulder height for months. This kind of injury not only causes physical pain, it also limits daily functions like reaching for cabinets, getting dressed, or lifting groceries. 3. High-impact running. A hidden threat to your joints and heart. Running has long been considered a hallmark of fitness, but high-impact running, especially on hard surfaces like pavement or concrete, is a gamble for the aging body. Each stride delivers a shock wave up through the ankles, knees, hips, and spine joints already vulnerable to age-related degeneration. Moreover, seniors often lack the cushioning muscle mass and flexible tendons needed to absorb that impact safely. The bigger danger, however, lies in the cardiovascular response. Intense running increases heart rate and blood pressure rapidly. For older adults with underlying cardiovascular conditions diagnosed or undiagnosed, this can provoke cardiac arrhythmias, angina, or even myocardial infarction. A study from the Journal of the American College of Cardiology found that older adults who engaged in high-intensity running without prior conditioning were 2.5 times more likely to experience cardiovascular complications than those who walk briskly. This isn't to say all cardio is bad, but pounding the pavement at full tilt is simply not the right path for most seniors. Safer, more joint-friendly alternatives offer the same benefits without the devastating risks. Part 3. 3 exercises every senior should be doing right now. While certain exercises can cause more harm than good in aging bodies, there are others that do the exact opposite. These movements not only protect against common age-related issues like muscle loss, poor balance, and joint instability, they actively rebuild the body's strength, restore function, and boost confidence. Here are 3 exercises that I consistently recommend to my senior clients, backed by both research and first-hand results. 1. Chair squats. Building practical lower body strength. If you've ever struggled to stand up from a low sofa or had to push off with your hands to rise from a chair, this exercise is for you. Chair squats are a highly functional movement that targets the very muscles seniors rely on for daily independence, primarily the quadriceps glutes and hip stabilizers. Unlike deep squats, which can compromise joint integrity, chair squats focus on a safe and comfortable range of motion, often using a sturdy chair for support and alignment. How it works. Stand in front of a stable chair with feet shoulder width apart. Slowly lower yourself toward the seat as if to sit, then hover an inch above the cushion before pressing back up using the strength of your legs. Perform 2 to 3 sets of 8 to 12 repetitions. Why it matters. Chair squats strengthen the entire posterior chain, improve joint alignment, and enhance mobility. For seniors, the ability to sit and stand with ease translates directly into confidence and reduced fall risk. According to a report published in the Journals of Gerontology, seniors who performed chair-based strength training twice a week had a 31% lower chance of losing independence in daily activities. Real-life example, Mr. Vernon, a 74-year-old retired teacher, came to my clinic after nearly falling in his bathroom. He couldn't stand without using his hands. After 6 weeks of consistent chair squats and balance training, he not only regained his ability to rise smoothly, but began walking longer distances without fatigue. 2. Wall push-ups. Upper body strength without the strain. Traditional push-ups can be too intense for older adults, often stressing the wrists, shoulders, and lower back. But wall push-ups offer a joint-friendly alternative that still engages the upper body effectively. How to perform. Stand about 2 feet away from a wall. Place your hands flat against the wall at shoulder height. Slowly bend your elbows to bring your chest closer to the wall, then push back to the starting position. Begin with 1 set of 10 repetitions and increase gradually over time. Muscles targeted: chest pectorals, shoulders, deltoids, triceps, and the stabilizing muscles of the upper back and core. Clinical significance. These muscles are crucial for functional tasks such as carrying groceries, opening heavy doors, and maintaining posture. Weak upper body strength in seniors has been linked to increased rates of falls and mobility limitations. A study from the Journal of Aging and Physical Activity found that upper body strength exercises significantly improve postural control and reduced kyphotic curvature in seniors aged 65 to 80. Case study: Mrs. Leona, 69, used to avoid lifting anything heavier than her purse due to chronic shoulder discomfort. After replacing overhead presses with wall push-ups and incorporating shoulder mobility drills, her posture improved, pain diminished, and she could lift moderate-weight household items with no assistance. 3. Heel-to-toe walk, a simple yet powerful balance booster. Perhaps the most underrated and critical ability for seniors is balance. It is the invisible thread that ties together every movement: walking, reaching, bending. And yet it's the first to quietly decline. The heel-to-toe walk retrains the body's stabilizers, enhances coordination, and re-engages the neural pathways that protect you from falls. How to do it. Stand tall and place the heel of one foot directly in front of the toes of the other foot as if walking on a tightrope. Take slow, controlled steps forward in a straight line. Use a nearby wall or countertop for support if needed. Practice for 1 to 2 minutes daily. Why it works: this exercise stimulates the small muscles in the ankles, hips, and core, while also improving proprioception. These are the same systems that help you recover from slips, navigate uneven terrain, or stand on one leg while dressing. Scientific support. The National Council on Aging emphasizes that balance exercises can reduce fall risk by up to 40%. With falls being the leading cause of fatal and non-fatal injuries among older adults, this simple daily habit can literally save lives. Success story: 81-year-old Gloria was terrified of falling again after a kitchen mishap resulted in a fractured wrist. Through a dedicated regimen of balance drills, including the heel-to-toe walk, she not only regained her stability, but now walks unaided and even volunteers at her community garden. Part 4. Why this matters more than ever. Every day, the aging population grows. More and more adults are entering their 60s, 70s, and 80s with the goal of staying active and independent. But the path to longevity isn't paved with the same exercises used in youth. It requires a shift in awareness, in understanding that the body changes and our approach must evolve with it. Choosing the right exercises is not about looking fit. It's about safeguarding your ability to live on your own terms. That means avoiding movements that place excess strain on joints, compress fragile tendons, or elevate blood pressure too rapidly. It means embracing functional strength, gentle mobility, and balanced restoration. It means building a foundation that lets you walk, lift, bend, and stand not just now, but for the years to come. The choice is yours. There's a truth that's difficult for many to accept, but it bears repeating. The price of the wrong exercise isn't just a sore muscle. It can be your independence. You've seen it happen. A neighbor who slipped during a run, a relative who tore a rotator cuff lifting weights overhead, a friend who lost mobility after a knee injury from poor squat form. And for each of these people, recovery didn't just take weeks, it altered the rhythm of their lives. But here's the other side of the coin. The right movement done consistently can restore strength, rebuild confidence, and renew vitality. It can mean fewer medications, more energy, less reliance on others, and more freedom to enjoy life on your terms. It's about being able to get up from the floor, carry your own groceries, or walk into the sunlight without fear of falling. As a senior care professional, I've watched individuals in their 70s and 80s transform not through punishing gym routines, but through gentle, targeted movements that respected their bodies and met them where they were. So I leave you with this: avoid the exercises that do more harm than good. Say no to deep squats, overhead presses, and high-impact running. Embrace movements that build, not break: chair squats, wall push-ups, and heel-to-toe walks. Start small, stay consistent, move with intentions, because when it comes to aging, your actions today shape your freedom tomorrow. If this article has helped you or someone you care about, please consider sharing it. And for more evidence-based, compassionate guidance on how to live longer and stronger, be sure to like and subscribe to our channel, Longevity Secret. We're here to support you every step of the way.